welcome to Fright Night. Not that I really want anyone to be afraid, but these things are out there, supposedly, and it doesn't sound like we really want to see them. This'll just be stories of people, but just because we haven't experienced it, should we say, it doesn't exist. This wide world out there, so many things, and beyond, we can't really know exactly what does and doesn't exist. Here's what I say though, no need to be frightened, because maybe everything is just one really big bowl of illusion anyway, even the life you have right now. So no need to be afraid. Just roll along with me in Fright Night. Okay. Now, what are these mannequin type beings? And not everyone really means like a mannequin like you see in a store, but like a faceless, some sort of say like a cloth where you don't really see any, like a cloth that's covered, but it didn't have a face. So, but sometimes some people say they see indents where there was. Are these some other type of alien race we don't know about? Are they like an interdimensional being? Are they evil things? Well, a lot of people say they don't exactly get the best feeling when they're around these things, so you have to wonder. But sometimes they don't seem, there's a couple of instances where they didn't seem hostile. So, what are they? Can we say they're all evil? Whatever they are, if there is such a thing, who knows? But here's a few stories of the mannequin people. Okay, here's the first guy in 2013-2014. He was driving at night, and this is supposed to be like in Southern California. He was driving at night in his vehicle, coming home late from work. And I guess it was sort of like a little highway thing or exit thing. He was going one way, and this other car was going the other way. He saw the occupant in the car was a woman. Had all the right clothes and everything, every form like a person. And by the way, they are physical. They seem to be physical. But the only problem is, she didn't seem to have a face. She did seem to be hostile, this one. The more he stared at her and seemed to notice her, he said, the more she seemed to get. And sometimes these people say, even though they don't appear to have eyes, they can appear to see you still, or notice when you notice them. It's like people can be walking right by them and some people don't notice them. So either are they only visible to some people, or are they something that is disguising themselves normally and only some people notice the difference? Like they don't have a face, but to some people they have a face. Sort of like the reptilian type, who are trying to cover up themselves. Maybe whatever this is a form of reptilian or something that is at least disguises itself. Who knows? Who knows what we have living with us, The next story, and yes, he booked it out of there fast. He's like, ugh, and he's got out of there. I would. A man went camping with his buddies, right, and he had to go, he drank a lot of beer. You had to go down, it was out in the woods somewhere, had to go down to pee. Have to do it, right? So he's going down to the river, I think it was a river, and on the other side he saw a man. Let me read that part. He saw a man in a bomber jacket and jeans, but the man did not have a face. And all of a sudden, I guess the guy must have noticed, he noticed him. the guy appeared, he was on the other side of the river now, no. But all of a sudden, he appeared right next to him. How freaky would that be? And not only that, but listen to this next part. And it was moving so fast, his eyes could hardly track this man. And the man began to vibrate like a cell phone. And a line had formed down his forehead until it went to his neck. And his face split open, showing hundreds of needle-like teeth and a reptilian tongue. So, what are these beings? Again, if there is such a thing, are they a reptilian trying to disguise themselves as a person? Maybe. But here's what I'm going to say: they're not doing so good if they don't have a face, because people gonna look if you don't have a face. I'm just saying, you need a face. If you can't have one, draw one on. Unless, of course, like I said before, some people see them with faces and some people don't, you know. But anyway. There was a guy who, when he was a sophomore in high school, he went to one of his classmates' house to do a project, and on his way home, him and his friend were walking back at past midnight. Oh, always a lovely time to be walking, isn't it? Actually, I don't know, sometimes it may be a nice time to be walking, and sometimes maybe not. We're in a forested part of town where there wasn't really very many people. So they're walking down the street, and about a block past the house, they saw a man who was dressed like a security guard in a uniform, holding a shotgun, which is, you wouldn't want to see even that with a face, right? I'm just saying. Not in a, like a residential part of town. I mean, you'd be like, But anyway. And he stood right by one of these houses, just a house, which was either abandoned or under construction. And then he noticed his face. There was nothing on it but blackness. And that's a different thing. Some people say the face is sort of like a grayish, like with indents. And some people say there's just blackness or shadow. And they walked really fast and got out of there. I would too. Okay. Here's another guy playing video games till about 2 or 3 a.m. What you should do. They were on their way home. They were at a friend's house. They were on their way home. And a Jeep passed by them with 2 people in the front seat. No facial features. And then they noticed 2 in the back seat. Also, with no face. By the way, I heard another story at one time where someone saw a whole family of these people with kids in tow. So, they're not necessarily always adults. And you're like, what are they? You know, I mean, what does it mean? You know, what does it mean? Do we really want to know? I don't know. Sometimes I think, do we really want to know? Okay, another one where back in the 80s, this kid lived, and he was like 8 years old at the time. His family lived in a high-rise building. And, let's see, he was passing this one area on his way to school. I think it was like a warehouse or type of thing. He saw a man in like a red suit going into that warehouse. You got it. No face. Pretty much, that is the theme of this, of these stories. Okay, two guys riding around in a forest at night because I guess they had nothing else to do in the middle of the night. Well, I mean, it's a nice quiet time, no traffic on the road, why not, I suppose? And they saw an old woman in a long coat at the side of the road, so they slowed down, like most people would, maybe seeing if she needed help or something. But they sped up pretty fast when they found out she was faceless. And you just don't want to, I mean, do you really want to help a woman with no face? It's a little scary. You might be the one needing help at the end of that, right? And a kid said, one night, his dad came home late from work. And he seemed terrified. When he came out of the bathroom, he asked his dad, what up? And he was really scared, and he said that as he was driving down the road, there were some guys, I think 3 men, were walking on the side of the road. He slowed down to look at them. I don't know why people do that, really. I mean, why? I mean, at the time, he didn't probably think there was anything up with them anyway. He probably just, maybe he thought, what are they doing out so late at night? I don't know. But he slowed down and probably wished he hadn't. And one had a hat on and the 2 of them didn't. And they all of a sudden turned towards him. All of them faceless. And then they just sort of kept pace with this car as he was going on. You know, can you imagine them staring at you? You know, no, well, it looks like they're staring at you, but they have no face. But you know that they're staring at you somehow. Yes, and then he booked it on out of there. And the next day the kid was like, you know, trying to get his dad to talk about it. And his dad's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But he could tell by the look in his dad's face that he did. He just wanted to forget it. And he said his dad was not the kind of guy who would make up stories or lie. He was very serious-minded. He didn't believe in these things. And so it's more like, it didn't happen, no way. Oh, and he didn't drink and take drugs. He wanted to make sure he put that in there. So, and this is a weird case about a person who was talking about their cousin. I don't know if it was a man or a woman. Said that their cousin and his friend were playing on their bikes in a park on a Sunday in the evening, and it was in the summer. And it was a small town, so, I mean, no reason that they can't go, you know, riding their, you know, bikes on the park. But they saw a lady, about 30-ish or something, sitting on a bench. And she called out to them. Kids don't talk to strangers, though. And a monotone voice, like on an answering machine. And she had feet. This one looked like she had features that were painted on her face. Like she was made of plastic, like a mannequin. And she asked them, who are you? Where are you from? What are you doing? Have you freaked out? Be like, huh? Oh, and this lady had like a canvas, like a painting right in front of her, like she was doing a canvas thing. And on the canvas, she had to stand in front of her with a painting, and it had scenes of a night sky and stars. The stars had like different face expressions on them. Well, they biked away from her, and when they came back, like not too long after, she was totally gone, you know. And it's kind of hard to just pick up a canvas and a painting and just, you know. Oh, and she was, I think they said she was barefooted. She was just gone. And she really couldn't have been gone in that short of time. I mean, I suppose it's possible there's a car down the street or something, but why was she asking such weird questions? In a monotone voice, like an answering machine, with a face that looked like it was painted on. Who knows? Will we ever know these questions? Do we want to know these answers to these questions? I don't know. I don't know what they are, what it means. I think it means that if it's true, it means that who knows what's out there. It could be, and there's so many things out there. It's not just only about aliens or Bigfoot or anything else. There's a whole pile of who knows what out there. And although sometimes it could be evil beings or spirits, it's not always. Sometimes it's just other things. That's not always just as easy to pass off as, the devil or the angels. I mean, there are things in between. Are they all bad? Maybe not. Are they all good? Doesn't seem so. So, what does it mean? Who are they? What do they want? Are they AIs dressed? I don't know. So many possibilities, because it kind of sounded AI-ish the way they claimed that lady talked to them. But I don't know what it is. But for now, people are calling them the mannequin people. Because sometimes they look like a little bit of a mannequin, and sometimes they just look faceless. But whatever they are, whether they're reptilians, mannequins who found a way to come to life, which I don't really think so. I'm going to say not with that one, but, I don't put anything out of the impossibility part. But whatever it is, well, maybe someday we'll know. Who knows? But until then, have fun with these stories. And there's so many stories out there like that. I mean, that's just a few of many. So, have a wonderful rest of your Friday night. If you're already into Saturday, have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. And over and